This holiday season is kind of over, but that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy myself. What did you do, Lindsey? Well. I indulged in cookies, clearly. Cake, you betcha. Gelato, I always thought of myself as très fancy. But you may or may not be surprised to know that I also indulged in characters.
Listen in with Lindsey.
Welcome to Listen In with Lindsey. I am Lindsey. Thank you so much for joining in today. I am so happy to have you here. If you do like my content, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so that you are always up to date on all of the fun. Now, let's get into it. Oh, but before we do, here is a quick word from our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Gigi and the Giggle Stamp. Get ready to dance, laugh, and sing along with Gigi, the lovable character who's bringing joy to children everywhere. Her brand new song, Gigi and the Giggle Stamp, is out now, and it's guaranteed to bring smiles, giggles, and a whole lot of fun to your little ones. Whether it's playtime, learning, or just winding down, Gigi's catchy tunes and playful energy will fill your home with happiness. Want to be a part of something magical? Head over to gigiandthegigglestamp.com to listen to her latest song and support Gigi's upcoming projects. Let's make learning through music an adventure. Listen now and support future giggles at gigiandthegigglestamp.com. Thanks so much.
So, I went to see the Mufasa movie, okay? As I'm sure most of you did. There are spoilers in this video, BTW. But dare I say, I was shocked when I came out of the theater. Scared, confused. I didn't recognize myself. I started having these feelings. Oh my, what feelings did you have, Lindsey? Well, guys, if you must know, I did the unthinkable. I sympathize with Scar. I know, right? Me. I love Mufasa. James Earl Jones' voice. Chef's kiss. Hello. It's sheer brilliance. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could besmirch Mufasa, the Mufasa in my eyes. However, I found myself sympathizing with Scar. Well, if I found myself sympathizing with Scar, then surely others must have too, right? I mean, right? Okay, so since I watched the movie with my sister, I had to ask her opinion. To my surprise, she was in direct opposition with me. Gasp! How dare you have a different opinion? Are you like your own person or something? Boring. Just boring. Okay, just kidding, guys. Differences are welcome here, I guess. But let's get into this scintillating, ever-entertaining conversation with my sister, Emily. Lindsey and Emily talk Mufasa, take 3, final take, hopefully. All right, 3, 2, 1, action. Hi everyone, my name is Lindsey and this is my little sister Emily, and last week we went to see the movie Mufasa and we have some thoughts, right?
I have correct answers, you have your opinion.
Well, I was just surprised at how I felt when we left the movie theater.
I love Mufasa, and I sympathized with Scar.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't understand what was happening. Because I love Mufasa, and I sympathize with Scar. And I didn't understand how that happened. So I have 4 pickles that we should discuss. Number 1, why I started sympathizing with Scar is Scar's mom, he ends up liking Mufasa more? Like, hello, where is the family loyalty, right?
No.
What do you mean, no?
I said no.
Okay, why no?
Okay, well, no. And no. And no.
Okay, but why?
Because Scar's mom did not like Mufasa more. I think it was a mutual relationship.
So she likes Scar and Mufasa equally?
Yeah. It's just in their own different ways.
Okay, how did she like Mufasa and how did she like Scar?
Well, I think she probably took on a more compassionate role with Mufasa because Mufasa went through a lot of crap, and then Mufasa was also stuck by her side for like ever until they went to go find the promised land, whatever it was called. And then with Tucker...
It's not Tucker, it's Taka.
Tucker...
Hello.
With Tucker,
Why would he be named Tucker first? So it's Taka.
When he was saying it, the movie theater sounded like it was saying Tucker, so it's Tucker.
It's not anybody's
Tucker?
fault that you don't clean out your
Tucker.
ears.
So Tucker,
Taka.
Tucker and Tucker's mom had more of a protecting relationship type of scenario, except the mother protects the son, not the son protects the mother, because we saw when that happened.
So Scar's mom is protective over Scar.
Yes.
How is she protective over Scar?
Hello? Oh, you need to go protect my son and go out.
It was
and look for
basically
your mother.
Scar's dad that did that.
Okay, but she also felt the same.
Not as much as the dad. Be so for real right now.
Okay.
Not as much as the dad.
Okay, but still did. Not as much, but still did.
I think she was just playing her role, you know?
I think both were playing their roles.
The dad?
Yeah. The dad had to go out and teach his son how to be the future king of the...
But obviously the dad was more protective over Taka/Scar than the mom was. I think because the mom had more sympathy towards Mufasa because, okay, they took, the mom and Taka/Scar took Mufasa in, and basically the only reason Scar/Taka's dad allowed him into the tribe is because Mufasa won a race against Taka, which Scar/Taka let him win towards the end because he's like, I have a secret. I always wanted a brother. And then all of a sudden, like, Mufasa wins and he's not going to get eaten today, you know?
Sure.
So I think the mom just maybe felt like guilty, but as the movie progressed, I couldn't help but feel that she did have more of an affection for Mufasa versus her own son. And that kind of irritated me because I'm like, well, Taka is your son. Hello? Like, just because you spend more time with Mufasa shouldn't, like, change that, right?
Huh?
She ended up spending more time
Yes.
with Mufasa,
Obviously.
right? But that shouldn't matter. She should still have more of a loyalty towards her own son.
She did, because even though as much as, like, she wasn't around him, she still went off and said, go protect my son.
But it was so obvious that she had more of an affection for Mufasa, though.
Affection or compassion?
Compassion that grew into affection,
Okay.
right?
Sure. I don't get it. I don't get what you're saying.
I'm saying is that it became more obvious as they spent more time together because essentially Mufasa was banished with the lionesses because Scar's dad didn't want to be around him at all. Like, he irritated him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Mufasa was hunting with the lionesses and whatnot. And so he formed a bond with Scar's mom, naturally, because they spent more time together. However, be that as it may, I still think the mom should know in the back of her head, like, hey, I'm still gonna, like, pick my son over you each time, and that line needs to be drawn, right?
And she didn't how?
It just felt like she was just closer to Mufasa, you know? And even though she spent more time with him, blah, 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 I still feel like she should have maintained, like, a fierce loyalty towards her own flesh and blood.
I think she was very loyal to her kid. I don't know what makes it seem like she wasn't.
Because, I don't know, it just felt to me that, like, everything came too easy for Mufasa. Like, I know he had his struggles, like, he got separated from his parents, and what else? Like, he was afraid of water, but everything else, he was, like, the greatest that ever walked the Sahara Desert. You know, like, oh, Mufasa, your senses are so great. Oh, Mufasa, you're the chosen one, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Mufasa, I'm somebody else's mom, but I'm just going to give you all of my motherly affection. You know?
But that's because Mufasa developed those skills. So then it just seems like, oh, it comes so easily. No, you have that big time jump from when they were little baby cubbies to their little teenage adults and off going to find the promised land and whatever. And it's like literally hello? Like, this kid, like, went through so much crap, gets separated from his parents when he's young, is about to be eaten by alligator crocodiles. I don't know the difference. And then
I always thought alligators were more green and crocodiles had like this grayish.
I thought it was like with the snout. The A is alligator, the C is crocodile, or maybe vice versa.
Yeah, like the crocodile's snout is wider,
Yeah.
and like the alligator's more narrow, like an A.
Yeah, but that's another conversation for later.
Yeah.
It didn't really seem like, even just from childhood, he had an easy life, and then that adopted dad figure, whatever, Tucker's dad, was literally like, I'm gonna eat you, and I don't even want you. And he had this sort of like, he was put in this inferior position as, you're not as good as my son, you're not that, you suck. So it's like, it's not like it's easy, it's a lot more of like internal conflict rather than like, oh my god. But there's also a lot of external conflict where he almost died like a million times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that things didn't happen to Mufasa, but there was a certain way that, like, people, I guess, flocked to him, which felt unnatural to me. I mean, I guess that happens for some people in life where they're just naturally popular and everybody wants to be around them, but it just felt so, I don't know, forced in a way. Like, all of a sudden, his senses are more amazing than all of the lionesses that he's been training with. And he can hear which animal it is based on how the wind hits an animal's antlers. Or he can smell, like, flowers off of someone's fur, even if they haven't been there for years. And it just felt like, really?
But that's because he's had how many years of training with the lionesses who go hunt?
But to the point where he's better than the lionesses, like,
but they never said that he was better
they
than.
implied it.
No, that's a stretch. That one's a stretch, because I don't know. It just seemed as if like they were saying that he developed these skills because of the hunting and whatever, and then he even taught, what's her name? The one he ends up marrying.
Sarabi.
Yeah, Sarabi, that like how to do it and whatever and stuff like
How
that.
to hunt?
No, how to use those senses.
Yeah, but it's weird that, like, okay, Sarabi's a lioness, right? How come she doesn't have those skills?
Or maybe different tribe, different.
Well, she's also the princess, but I would think that the princess would be top notch in those skills. So why is Mufasa better than her? That's another prime example to where, oh, and there's this other scene with Rafiki where he has this vision of seeing his brother by, the Tree of Life when they finally reach Pride Rock or whatnot. And he's like, oh, Mufasa, it's always been you. You are my brother. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? Like, that felt like a stretch to me, like a bit much, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
That didn't feel far-fetched to you?
No, it just felt like they developed a really close relationship, so he considered him like a brother.
But he wasn't just with Mufasa. He was with Sarabi and Zazu and Taka, too.
Correct.
So why just Mufasa?
But during that time together, didn't they kind of develop a closer relationship in a way? Isn't he the one that kind of took him in as well?
I think Rafiki just ended up there. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think it was
but how
specifically
so?
Mufasa that was like...
Well, do you remember Mufasa was about to eat him if he didn't try to go after Rafiki? Then they would have never... Or he wouldn't even have been
Yeah,
there
but
in the
Rafiki
first
was
place.
so confident, though, that nobody was going to eat him. He had this, like, spiritual guru type vibe going on where, oh, nobody's going to eat me, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if that necessarily was like, oh, yeah, Mufasa, you're my brother now.
No, but then it's like obviously from there he just ended up bonding with him and then boom, come into our clique.
Yeah, but just him. Why not the whole group? Why just Mufasa?
Because they became closer. You know how when you're in cliques you have that one group, and then in that group there's little like mini subgroups. So like say like there's like 10 people here, and then there's like 5 different pairs, and it's like 2 best friends, 2 best friends, 2 best friends, but they all are 2 and 2, and then but they all work so well together because they all have a mutual bond, but one's always closer to another person.
Right.
So then maybe that's where that came from. So that's where the brother energy comes from.
I don't know. It just felt like everybody wanted to suck up to him real quick.
Or maybe he's just charismatic.
Yeah, I think that's maybe something to do with it, but I don't know. It just felt like everything just came up Mufasa. Everything's going his way, even when he didn't want to. Even when he wanted things to be for his quote unquote brother Taka, like things just always ended up just working in Mufasa's favor or towards Mufasa, even if he didn't want it. So it felt like very, I don't know, kind of forced to me in a way.
No.
You think some people just get everything and that's just what it is?
Well, no, because he had to work for how many years to get where he was at, and then being constantly put down by someone who doesn't even want him there. Like that
was the only person though. Everybody else loved him. Taka welcomed him in.
Okay.
Taka's mom welcomed him in. The lionesses welcomed him. There might be one other lion that was kind of mean to him. But aside from that, everybody's like, oh, Mufasa. And Mufasa, we're going to help you find your parents, which is nice, you know. But
there's like that superior power that like say, for example, say you have like a teacher. Okay, there's a teacher, and this teacher's really cool, and everyone loves this teacher, whatever. And then pretty much this teacher just has this one favorite, and everyone else is like, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. That's like pretty much the relationship Mufasa had with
Scar's dad?
Yeah.
But do you think Mufasa even wanted Scar's dad's approval? Never really felt like he did.
It did. If you like look at his demeanor, he's like, okay, or it's like, you're banished from my tree, go away. It's like,
yeah, but it's not like, oh, I'm dying to be here. It's like he had nowhere else to go. He wanted to find his parents.
He was never really able to settle in because he was always told by the person that is
the leader.
That you're not welcome. So he was never able to really feel welcome anywhere.
He did eventually welcome him in, though, after he saved Scar's mom, which was a low point for Scar because Scar had a chance to save his mom and Mufasa ended up saving the mom. And it just showed kind of like a coward type moment for Scar, which kind of made me sad because, I don't know, I wonder if Scar wasn't so sheltered by his father mostly, but maybe his mother too, like if they didn't shield him as much because he's going to be the future king or whatnot, could he have risen to the occasion instead of showing like such cowardly behavior at times, like not rising up the way that Mufasa did because Mufasa had to be scrappier, which is interesting because in the actual Lion King animation movie, Mufasa is just all regal and elegant and strong, and Scar is kind of like scrappy, sleeky, like, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting. Like, you would have never known that this would be the backstory, right? And I just wonder if, like, Scar's parents gave him a chance to, like, earn his place. Would he have avoided all this? Would he have been different? Because there are good qualities for Taka and Scar. And this is like what the live action backstories always do. They always want me to sympathize with the villain. You know, I could think of like Maleficent too. They told her backstory and you're like, wait, is King Stefan the bad guy and Maleficent's the victim? Because now, like, that's why I'm starting to feel like, okay, Scar might be the victim. I just wonder, like, if he had a chance to, I don't know, just come into his own, could things have been better? Because he had good qualities. He welcomed Mufasa in. He wanted a brother. He treated him like a brother. He was inclusive. And I'm just like, oh, could this villain arc have been avoided?
No, because he didn't do anything for himself either. That's the thing.
What do you mean?
Because he can be handed the whole world, but if you don't capitalize on what you're given, then you can't do nothing. Mm-hmm. You know? So, like, I think it might be also the fault of the dad and, like, his way of raising him to be,
like, lazy, essentially.
Yes, because, you know what, he just takes a nap and says, this is how you be a king. Mm-hmm. You don't teach
Let others serve you.
Yeah, you don't teach bravery. You don't teach like good qualities. You bow down to me. that's essentially if things went how things were supposed to go, he'd just be another lazy one.
Yeah, but it felt like he had the good qualities that were just erased by following his dad's guidance.
Right, but whose fault is that?
Well,
It's just the natural order of things. So you can't really...
so you want people to always fight their environment?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah, because you can't just... If you want to be something, you can't just be comfortable in being what you are now.
But he was content with what he was supposed to be. Like, he was told his whole life, I'm going to be king. This is my destiny no matter what. And I'm going to follow who's the king now, which is my father. So what did he do that was wrong?
Okay, well, for example, when he wanted Sarabi...
Mm-hmm.
In no way does he make any effort to do it. It's just like Mufasa just saves Sarabi's life. It's like, oh, it was Tucker's. Tucker who saved you.
Taka!
Tucker. It was
I don't
Tucker
know why
who saved
she keeps
you.
calling Taka.
I heard Tucker, so it's Tucker.
I mean, why would a lion be named Tucker? Because he has to tuck her down and...
I mean, why did they say his name was Tucker if his name
They said his name was
Tucker?
Taka. Taka, baka, baka, taka.
Tucker.
Knows best.
So why is it that Mufasa's literally giving him all the credit to do something and he can't even capitalize on them being together?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I know it is. That's why I said it.
Oh, hush.
That's why I said it's so silly. So silly.
Yeah, but still, I just feel like... I don't know, like, is there a world where this all could have been avoided and they could have actually been real brothers? Like, what could Scar have done differently?
He could have saved his mom.
Yeah. But aren't you ever in a moment where you just freeze up? Like, you would think, okay, there are certain instances in life where you think you would be brave, right? And then you just freeze. What if he just had, like, a freeze moment?
Oh, there you go. But then...
But he needs to be punished for the rest of his life.
Well, he's not
Everything...
being punished for that because he has another moment where he can show courage and he
What
does
other
it.
moment?
And then another moment. Saving Sarabi's life.
Yeah.
And then he ends up saving Mufasa's in a way.
He
But then that's
does.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
so
he does end up becoming his own person.
here's the thing. He's kind of low-key conniving. Like, we know Scar to be conniving in The Lion King, but in this movie, it's like, that's not portrayed at all in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, he feels like his destiny is being taken from him. He wants the girl, he can't have it. He wants to be, like, king, and, you know, it's just not working out this way.
Gravitating towards him.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And where was I going with this? Okay, so he essentially betrays Mufasa and his friend group, which was Mufasa, Sarabi, Rafiki, and Zazu, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. He, like, this whole, like, white, like, huge, massive white lions are chasing them. And they kind of destroyed Scar's pride. Like, his parent, Taka/Scar's pride. And essentially they're after, you know, the last two, and I guess their friend group by extension. And so Taka ends up going to them and kind of a coup de cas, strikes up a deal, and is like, by the way, if you haven't seen it, watch the movie and then watch this because there's obviously spoilers. So he goes, I mean, we're basically saying everything. So he goes and he talks to the lions, like the enemy lions, the white big lions, and he kind of is like, okay, I'll join your team and I'll give you the intake on Mufasa and the rest of my friends, because Mufasa, I think, ended up killing the son of the rival lion group. Was that right? From what I remember, yes. And so then the rival lions agree, and that's kind of a big betrayal, you know, because Mufasa's supposed to protect Scar, and Taka ended up betraying Mufasa. And so by the time they reach the Pride Lands and Mufasa is kind of battling with the head rival lion, right? Is that what happened? He's battling with the head rival lion. Scar kind of redeems himself and jumps in front of Mufasa just as he's about to be KO'd, and that's how he gets the scar. And it felt like that wasn't enough. Like, it felt like Mufasa forgave him, but he didn't, right? Because it's like he can stay, since Mufasa's the new king, the Lion King or whatnot, but he's almost not welcome, right? You don't get that vibe?
No, I think... Well, okay, so then you go all the way to Lion King, and when Scar is about to kill his brother and lets go of him, he literally still calls him a brother.
No, he says, "Long live the king."
I'm talking about Mufasa.
Oh, yeah, because
Mufasa.
they do that a lot in the movie. They're like, foreshadow.
Yeah, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And foreshadowing, but not foreshadowing, same difference.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, obviously he still considers him a brother. Obviously he still does that. But like, Scar banished himself. He felt shame. And it was very obvious that he felt shame because he didn't tell him to go pretty much hide yourself away or XYZ. He was accepted back. It's just he put himself in an inferior position.
But Mufasa said, "You are accepted back, but it's not the same."
Yeah, it's not the same, but through time you can redevelop that relationship. But he always just stepped back. But then from there he felt resentment.
I think Taka/Scar never got over the resentment. I just felt like he always... It just felt from this movie that Scar had a destiny that was taken away from him, and he never got over it. Hence, everything that happened in The Lion King. You know, but it's like you understand all this, and it's like, do you sympathize with Scar at all?
Yeah, but I also recognize that, hey, you ended up like that because of XYZ. And to be honest, a lot of it's on you. So I sympathize, but it is what it is.
But you don't feel like anything was taken from him? Like his destiny?
Yeah, but that's just natural.
It's natural for people to, like, take your destiny?
I don't think you're destined to do anything. I think your destiny is determined by yourself and your actions. A lot of his actions, his destiny was not what people were telling him. And that's so obvious. It's literally Mufasa's destiny is the destiny of Scar's, and Scar's destiny was the projected destiny of Mufasa.
Yeah, I think Sarabi at a point said that it was something along the lines of Scar's destiny was to save Mufasa so Mufasa could reign. Isn't that kind of sad, though?
Yeah, but then it's just also how the dominoes fall.
Yeah, because it's weird. Like, you want to think you have so much control in your life, right? But there's other people and there's other factors. And sometimes you can force something, and no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't go in your favor. And you just have to accept, well, I guess this is how it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because there's other people, there's other factors, there's other destinies at play, blah, 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 blah. I mean, obviously, this was the beginning of his villain arc, and he shouldn't have gone as far as he did. But I ended up sympathizing with Scar. And I felt like things came too easy for Mufasa. And it really annoyed me that his mom, or Taka's mom, Scar's mom, it honestly felt, and I can't put my finger on it, but it just felt like she had more of a loyalty towards Mufasa, and that bothered me. Because it's like, yeah, you took him in, whatever, but Taka's still your son. You're flesh and blood, see? So...
Bonus topic for conversation, Zazu stole the show. Absolutely hilarious. 10 out of 10.
Zazu stole the show?
Yes, he was freaking funny.
How was he funny? I forgot.
Oh, please. Let me just... So. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you remember from that?
He had the jokes, and because I literally said in the theater, the empty theater, I was like, why is he so funny? Oh my god.
Were you talking about Zazu or Timon and Pumbaa?
Okay, Timon and Pumbaa, hilarious. Seth Rogen, absolutely love. Great work.
She always has loved Seth Rogen.
Great job. But Zazu, oh my goodness. He absolutely top class. top class performance. He had jokes, and then it's just like all of a sudden in Lion King, he's the Mr. I'm so serious. I have a stick up my butt. And then in this one, you just see him let go, and he's so funny. I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I needed.
Simba did it to him. Simba was such a troublemaker. Zazu couldn't handle it. He's like, things are so much easier with Mufasa, and now I have to deal with Simba.
Anyways, absolutely top class performance from Zazu and Seth Rogen.
Round of applause.
Great work. No one cares about Scar. No one cares about Mufasa. The stars of the show.
Are you serious? Are the secondary characters? Nobody cares about the main characters, guys. We just are here for the jokes, the secondary characters, all the meat and bones and the stuff that really matters. Whatever. We're just in it for a good time, okay?
Of course. Of course. And now I'm tempted to go watch a movie with Seth Rogen. So
Which one? There's so many.
we'll start with This Is the End.
This is the end.
Absolutely hilarious.
Does that mean this is the end of this video?
Oh, what a transition, Emily. So perfect. So perfect.
Okay, but your final thoughts on Scar and Mufasa, though?
Like I said, Zazu, top class performance.
Not Zazu! What about Kiara?
She's cute.
Yeah? What about
She's there though.
the new baby? I think that's Kobu. They didn't really say, but
Yeah, they didn't
I
say
think
the
that's Kobu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, the
but-
Lion Guard. I like that show. I know it's like a kid show, but
So top class performance from Zazu. Love Pumbaa. Absolutely great.
okay. Your thoughts on Mufasa and Taka?
Tucker, his story was sad, but it does make sense to have it pan out that way and him to grow the resentment. That makes sense in my brain. Good job, creative writers. Ugh, not that hard though. And
I mean, it's only been decades in the making.
only literally, and they had to do it in real life, so
Yeah.
took a turn. And then Mufasa, good for you for becoming you.
I do like Mufasa. I think his end was tragic. Didn't have to happen. So much
Yep.
heartbreak. So much heartbreak all around. And I didn't really understand why I sympathized with Scar.
And I never understood why I sympathized for Snape, but that's a different topic.
We're
and
not
a different
talking about
story.
Harry Potter.
Different topic, different story.
See, you root for the underdog. You root for the villain sometimes, and you don't know why.
Snape is never the villain. The villain is always Voldemort. This wrong segment. This is the next segment that I will be discussing.
Anyways, I think the moral of the
Slithering
story.
Snape.
We're not talking about. I think the moral of the story is that I don't know. There's more to a person than just black and white, right? There's more to it than that, and I don't know. I guess you just feel
Complexities.
yes. Ogres are like onions; they're layers. Shrek. All right, that's it for our conversation. Thank you for tuning in. Toodaloo. Have you seen the movie Mufasa? If you are a Lion King fan, I would definitely recommend watching the movie. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments below. Did you too sympathize with Scar? Are you a villain? Can't wait to hear from you. And thanks again for joining me for this episode of Listen In with Lindsey. Bye!
Listen in with Lindsay.